The alien ship drifted through the empty darkness like a dying creature searching for air. Its engines were broken. Its shields were gone. Sparks jumped from open wires as the ship floated with no direction, carried only by cold space. Inside the control room, Commander Varen leaned over the cracked console. His face was pale, his breath slow, and his four-fingered hands trembled. He knew he did not have much time left. He pressed the red switch again. Nothing. He tried once more. A weak beep answered. The screen glowed for a second, then went dark again. Commander Varen closed his eyes. He could almost hear the voices of his crew who had died minutes ago when the enemy fleet blasted through the last line of defense. His ship was one of the few that survived the attack, but only barely. Now he was alone, drifting toward nothing, but he was not ready to give up. He leaned forward and spoke into the cracked mic, his voice shaking. "This is Commander Varen of the Zoran Alliance. Our colony is under attack. Thousands are dying. Any friendly force, please, help us." He coughed, and thick blue blood dripped from his mouth. The lights in the room flickered like they were taking their last breath. But the distress call traveled. It moved across space, passing dead planets, abandoned outposts, and empty satellites. It moved like a silent cry, weak but still alive. Hours passed. Then the signal reached an unexpected place. Earth. On Earth's outer orbit. Inside Command Station Helios 3, a young human officer sat alone at his night shift desk. His name was Captain Elias Ward, and he was known for staying calm even when everything went wrong. But at that quiet hour, he was bored. Nothing ever happened on these shifts. He was about to drink a cup of cold coffee when the speakers suddenly clicked. An alien voice came through. It was broken, full of static, but the words were still clear enough to understand. Ward froze, staring at the audio panel. He had heard many strange things from deep space before, but nothing like this. There was fear in the voice. Real fear. He played it again. Then again. The room felt colder. The lights dimmed as if the station was holding its breath with him. He rewound the audio once more and listened very carefully. Behind the shaking voice of Commander Varen, he heard something else. A faint beeping sound. A pattern. A code dot Ward quickly typed into his computer. The beeping was not random. It was a countdown. A countdown to destruction. He stared at the numbers on the screen. 0 hours, 59 minutes, and 45 seconds. 0 hours, 59 minutes, and 44 seconds. 0 hours, 59 minutes, and 43 seconds. The alien colony had less than 1 hour before the enemy wiped them out completely. Ward did not wait for orders. He did not think twice. His hands moved fast as he slammed the emergency alarm. Red lights flashed all over the station. Officers who were asleep jumped from their beds. Doors opened. Screens lit up. The whole Earth defense network was now awake. General Harper's voice thundered over the speakers. "What is happening, Captain Ward?" Ward sent the signal to the general's screen. Alien distress call. Colony under attack. Enemy fleet approaching. Countdown active. Less than 1 hour left. General Harper looked at the timer and stood still for a moment. Everyone knew what it meant. If humanity was going to help, they needed to act now. He spoke one simple order. Wake the Vanguard fleet. On Earth, cities lit up as alarms sounded. Families looked out their windows to see giant shadows rising from the ground. Massive warships emerged from hidden bases inside mountains, deserts, and oceans. Soldiers rushed into armored carriers. Engineers sprinted across launch pads. The night sky turned bright as hundreds of human ships powered their engines. Thunder filled the air. Children pointed at the glowing sky. Mothers held their babies closer. Old men whispered old stories about the first human wars above them. The largest human battleship, Horizon's Spear, rose through the clouds like a silent metal titan. Its engines burned blue as it climbed toward orbit. Humanity was coming. Back on his broken alien ship, Commander Varen was fading. He could feel his heartbeat slowing. He looked at the countdown on his screen. 0 hours, 14 minutes, and 58 seconds. He knew his colony would die soon. He whispered an apology to his people, believing no one heard his cry. He opened his eyes weakly. Through the cracked window, he saw only empty stars. Until something changed. The stars began to move. No, they were not stars. They were lights. Human warships. Hundreds of them. The human fleet arrived like a storm. Their engines burned bright, their weapons charged, and their formation was perfect. They moved with a confidence Varin had never seen in any species. He pressed his face closer to the window, tears forming. Humans, you came. At the same moment, Captain Ward stood on the Horizon Spears command bridge. The room vibrated as all ships lined up and prepared for battle. He stared at the enemy fleet in the distance. Already firing on the alien colony, Ward's eyes narrowed. Target locked. An officer said. Ready railguns, another reported. Ward lifted his hand slowly, then dropped it. Fire. The human railguns screamed through space. Bright, glowing lines shot across the darkness. The first blast hit an enemy cruiser, breaking it in half. The next shots followed like falling stars. Commander Varin watched in disbelief. Humanity did not come with small help. Humanity came with overwhelming fury. The final image before the chapter ends is Varin whispering through tears as he watches the first enemy ship explode. Thank you. Humans, thank you. Asterisk, the enemy fleet moved across the alien colony like giants walking through a burning village. Their ships were sharp, black, and hungry. Their weapons glowed with a cold red light, striking every structure they saw. Homes, hospitals, schools, nothing survived. Fire spread through the colony. Explosions shook the ground. The sky was filled with smoke and falling debris. The enemy commander, a creature with 6 glowing eyes and a metallic voice, watched calmly from his flagship. These weak aliens, he said, should never have entered our space. His officers laughed. For them, this was entertainment, not war. They believed no one would dare challenge them. They were confident, relaxed, and blind to what was coming. Then the space around them changed. It began with a strange vibration, a low rumble like thunder traveling through metal. The enemy commander turned toward the window. What is that sound? A young officer checked his screen. His eyes widened in horror. Unidentified fleet approaching at extreme velocity. The commander leaned forward. How many? The officer swallowed hard. All of them. The commander frowned. What do you mean all of them? The officer whispered. Humans. The enemy commander finally understood. The Zoran distress call did not reach a dying species. It reached Earth. At the edge of the battlefield, the human fleet dropped out of warp like a falling storm. Hundreds of ships appeared at once. Their engines blazed blue. Their hulls shone like steel dragons. They came in perfect formation, tight, clean, silent. Deadly in the middle of the formation was the human flagship, Horizon Spear, a ship so large it cast shadows on smaller vessels. Its railguns were already glowing, ready to fire again. Inside the command bridge, Captain Elias Ward stood tall with calm eyes. His team waited for his signal. Screens flashed enemy positions, their weapons, their speed, their weakness. Ward spoke softly. Humans do not come to watch. Humans come to win. His officers nodded. They were ready. Ward pointed at the enemy fleet. Bring the storm. The human ships moved instantly. Destroyers broke formation and attacked from the sides. Human drones shot forward like thousands of tiny comets. Frigates positioned themselves above the colony to block incoming fire. The enemy fleet panicked. They were ready to kill helpless aliens. They were not ready for humans. The first wave of human fire hit the enemy's ships with unstoppable force. Railgun rounds tore through metal like it was paper. Enemy cruisers exploded, sending bright clouds of debris across space. Human drones sliced through enemy fighters. Moving with perfect coordination, every human ship worked like a single beating heart. Commander Varen, still alive on his ruined ship, watched the scene with shaking hands. His eyes filled with tears. He had never seen a species fight with such power and precision. Humans did not fight for domination. They fought to protect. They fought because someone asked for help. Varen whispered this. This is what real strength looks like. Back on the Horizon Sphere, Ward analyzed the enemy formation. They are disorganized, he said. Push harder. Break them completely. Human destroyers moved into diamond formation. Their engines glowed brighter. They fired pulse cannons that sent shockwaves through enemy shields. The battlefield turned into a glowing storm of blue and orange light. The enemy commanders screamed, "Retreat!" Regroup now. But it was too late. Human fighters chased every ship trying to escape. Human torpedoes locked on to the largest enemy vessels. Every move the enemy made, humanity countered even faster. The Horizon Sphere charged its main railgun. The ship's entire structure hummed as energy gathered in the barrel. Ward stood still, watching the enemy flagship. He saw fear in their movements. He saw panic in their formation. He knew they were already defeated. He raised his hand. Fire the main cannon. A bright blue beam shot across space. It hit the enemy flagship with incredible force, punching through its shields, slicing through its armor, and exploding out the other side. The flagship broke apart like shattered glass. Silence filled the enemy. Communication channels, the battlefield froze. The enemy fleet could not understand. One thing, how could humans be this powerful? Humans were supposed to be young, new to the galaxy, weak, but the truth flashed in front of everyone. Humanity was never weak. Humanity was only quiet. And today, they were angry. The human fleet pressed forward again. The enemy lost control completely. Their ships scattered like frightened insects, trying to hide from a burning field. Ward gave the next order. No enemy ship leaves this system. Human interceptors moved faster than the enemy expected, blocking escape routes. Gunships appeared behind retreating vessels, trapping them. Every corner of space became a cage humans controlled, one by one. The enemy ships exploded in fiery clouds. Commander Varen watched the last enemy cruiser fall apart in silence. His heart felt heavy with emotion. Humans, you fight like you were protecting your own home, he whispered. Why would you help strangers like us? He did not understand, but he was grateful. As the battle slowed, human rescue ships descended toward the alien colony. Medical teams rushed out. Robots built temporary shelters. Engineers restored power and water. Human soldiers carried wounded aliens to safety, treating them like their own people. Commander Varen felt tears running down his face again. Not for fear, not for pain, but for something he had not felt since his childhood. Hope, he whispered. Your fury saved us, and your kindness saved our future. For the first time since the attack began, the alien colony felt safe, and this was only the beginning. Asterisk smoke slowly faded from the battlefield. Pieces of enemy ships drifted across space like broken shadows. The human fleet moved into a protective circle around the alien colony, forming a wall stronger than steel. Rescue ships, medical pods, and repair drones floated down toward the ground with precision. Commander Varen watched everything from the window of his damaged. His breathing was weak, but his eyes stayed wide open. He still could not believe what he was seeing. Humans, a species he had only heard rumors about, had brought an entire storm to save strangers. As a medical transport ship docked against the side of his wrecked vessel, the doors opened with a hiss. 3 human soldiers entered. Their armor was white, clean, and marked with blue lights. Their helmets hid their faces, but their movements showed confidence and purpose. One of the soldiers approached Varen. We are here to take you to safety, said firmly. Varen tried to speak, but only a whisper came out. You, humans, came for us. The soldier nodded gently. We heard your distress call. We do not ignore cries for help. Those words warmed Varen's chest more than any medical treatment could. The humans carried him onto the rescue ship. As it pulled away, Varen saw the horizon spear moving in the distance. Like a giant guardian watching the battlefield, inside the medbay, nurses and engineers worked together, scanning his wounds, stabilizing him, and giving him oxygen. They did not treat him like an outsider. They treated him like a person. Varen closed his eyes and whispered, "Thank you." The enemy returns for one last strike, but the battle was not over. Far beyond the battlefield, hidden inside a dark nebula, a small group of enemy warships had escaped earlier. They watched the destruction from a distance and now prepared for revenge. Their new commander, a cruel and fearless warrior, slammed his fist on the console. "We will attack again," he growled. "Humans are strong, but they are not invincible." His officers obeyed without hesitation. Their engines roared to life, their weapons charged. They rushed toward the colony with deadly speed. Back on the horizon spear, alarms exploded across the control room. "Captain Ward," a communications officer shouted. "We detected new signatures in enemy ships incoming at high velocity." Ward turned his gaze to the main screen. Dozens of red blips lit up, closing in fast. He could have rested. He could have waited. But humans did not surrender. Humans did not back down. Ward lifted his chin. "All ships prepare for final engagement." The human fleet spread out instantly. Fighters launched. Drones activated. Cannons rotated. The battlefield, which had calmed for a moment, now burned with new energy. Commander Varen, lying on a medical bed, heard the alarms through the walls. His heart pounded. "Not again," he whispered. His people were already broken. They could not survive another attack. But then he heard another sound, human boots on metal, soldiers running with purpose, officers shouting clear, steady commands, engines charging. Humans were not afraid. The final clash. Humanity shows its true power. The enemy fleet burst into the system like a swarm of angry insects, firing wildly. Red beams shot in every direction. But this time, humans were ready. Ward stood at the center of the command bridge. "Focus fire on their leader," he ordered. "Cut off their formation. Break them." The horizon spear's cannons glowed. Human destroyers charged forward. Human fighters weaved through explosions like arrows of light. Human drones swarmed around enemy ships, disabling engines and weapons. The enemy commander screamed, "How are they this strong?" But there was no answer. Humans fought like a rising tidal wave. Every time an enemy fired, humans fired faster. Every time an enemy turned, humans predicted the movement before it even happened. The final battle lasted only minutes. But to Varen, it felt like a lifetime. He watched from the window of the medbay ship, praying in silence. Then it happened. The horizon spear fired its main railgun again, a single, massive beam of blue energy that cut through the enemy flagship like a sword through smoke. The ship exploded into a bright cloud of fire. The remaining enemy vessels panicked and tried to flee. Ward did not hesitate. "Do not let them escape." Human interceptors blocked every exit. Torpedoes locked on and shot forward. One by one, enemy ships burst into flames. And then silence. The battlefield was clear. The enemy was gone. Space became calm once more. Humanity's message to the galaxy later. When the colony was finally safe and the fires were controlled, a wideband broadcast signal went out from the horizon spear. "Captain." Ward stood before the camera with a steady face. He delivered a message that echoed across countless star systems. Asterisk, asterisk to every species across the galaxy. If you are hurt, if you need help. If darkness comes for you, send your call. Humanity will answer, but if you bring harm to the innocent, humanity will answer with fury. Asterisk, asterisk, the transmission ended. Millions across the stars saw it. Some feared it. Some admired it. Some finally understood humanity's true nature. Not conquerors. Not tyrants. Not monsters, protectors, warriors. A force that rises when others fall. A new beginning commander, Varen, recovered slowly. When he was finally strong enough to stand, asked to meet Captain Ward. Ward entered the medbay.com in quiet. Varen bowed his head. You saved us. We owe our lives to you. Why? Why help us? We are strangers to you, Ward smiled softly. Because no one should die alone in the dark. Varen felt tears in his eyes. Those words would stay with him forever. As the human fleet prepared to return to Earth, Varen watched from the ground. His people standing beside him, the horizon spear, rose into the sky like a shining guardian returning home. Varen whispered, "Humans, the galaxy will remember your light." And the story of humanity's fury and humanity's kindness spread across the stars like a new dawn.